Hello, welcome to Luann's Creative Corner. I'm a librarian at a community college and I run a craft program for kids. This month it was very exciting to finally be able to have an activity in person. We made miniature explosion boxes with a Halloween or fall theme. We've made explosion boxes in the past for Christmas and at the 4th of July. I'll link to my video below that shows how to make the boxes, but I thought I'd share here some additional ideas for the center of the box, and also how to decorate the top of your box for a pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern. I'm showing here two of the samples I made. One has a Halloween theme and the other is for fall. The idea for the Halloween box is that the box is a jack-o'-lantern with a different face on each side. But after 3 faces, I decided to switch things up with a spider and its web. The center of the Halloween box has a bat that is floating on an almost invisible piece of acetate. I think the effect of a floating, almost flying bat is very fun. For the fall box, I chose a different pumpkin pattern for each side. 2 matching maple leaves were folded and placed back to back for a 3D centerpiece. I'll show you how that works later in the video. On both of them, I decorated the top of the box to be a pumpkin with die-cut leaves, a vine, and a stem. Let's start with the stem for the top of the box. I used 2 pieces of green cardstock cut to 4.5 by 1/2 inch. I'm using 2 different colors of green cardstock so that you can more easily see how the pattern works. And I really like the effect of the 2 colors on the finished stem. You need just a touch of glue or any adhesive to glue the 2 pieces together at a 90-degree angle. Start with the piece on the bottom and fold it over the top piece. Continue folding every other piece until you run out of cardstock. This makes a fun little spring out of paper. I learned to make this when I was a kid. I thought mostly everybody knew this fun paper trick, but many of those who came for the program thought it was fun to learn. To finish, put some glue under the last fold and trim off any excess cardstock. Now you have a fun little paper spring that can serve as a pumpkin stem for your box. For the floating bat on the inside center of the box, I used 2 small pieces of cardstock cut to 1.5 by 3/4 inch, and I scored and folded at 1/4. I think it would have been just as easy to cut the cardstock to 1/2 inch and score it right in half. You just need enough to hold the acetate piece. Add glue to one section of your cardstock piece and glue the end of the almost invisible 1.5 by 1/2 inch acetate piece to it. Then glue the other cardstock piece to the first so that the acetate is sandwiched between the 2 pieces, with folds going in opposite directions that can then be glued to the inside bottom of the box. Now glue 2 bat die cuts back to back on top of the acetate piece, with the acetate sandwiched between them. Make sure to leave as much room as possible for the floating effect, yet also don't go above the top of the box when the sides are closed. I thought it would also be fun to try this method with a little ghost die cut. The ghost is taller than the bat, but the effect still works pretty well. I use the same exact method as with the bat. The bat is from a retired Stampin' Up! Punch called Biddy Bat, and the ghost is a die cut from Stampin' Up's retired Home Sweet Home Thinlet set. This method would be fun for many occasions with a variety of small shapes. For the fall mini explosion box, I punched 2 maple leaves from the EK Success Large Maple Leaf Punch, which cuts a leaf that is about 2.25 by 2 inches. I started by using my scoring tool, but I found it was even easier to put the 2 shapes together so that they exactly match, and then fold down along one edge of the leaf about 1/4 inch. You want the fold to be in the exact same spot on both leaves, one folded in one direction and one in the other. That way the leaf shapes can be glued back to back, except in that small folded area. The small folded area can then be glued to the inside bottom of the box so that the shape will be able to stand up on its own and serve as a 3D decoration. Another idea for the inside of a Halloween or fall-themed explosion box is to create a nighttime forest scene with trees and a small circle for an autumn moon. The trees I'm using here are from Stampin' Up's retired Tree Builder Punch, cut from black cardstock. An even spookier looking tree and slightly taller is available right now in Stampin' Up's Frightful Tags die set. I'm wanting to make one using that tree sometime, but since I needed a lot of these shapes for the craft program, I opted for the punch. I was already die cutting a lot of intricate spiderweb shapes. Since these trees are short, I folded down only about 1/8 on the end of the trunk. This time I didn't glue the shapes exactly back to back, but I interlocked the branches and made sure they were glued to each other there. I glued the tree trunks every other one folded the opposite direction. For the moon, I sponged in orange around 2 yellow 3/4 inch circles and glued them back to back in the tops of the trees. There is room to have a larger moon, but I was using die-cut circles I already had. I made sure at least one branch of a tree was sandwiched between the circles, but I was also trying to get that tree silhouette effect on both sides of the moon. The Tree Builder Punch also has an apple shape that I thought worked well as a pumpkin silhouette shape at the bottom of one tree. If you were using this for a Halloween scene, it would be fun to stamp a small witch riding a broom in the middle of the moon. The trick of gluing a die-cut shape back to back with just a bit of it folded down to glue to the bottom of the box can be used with pretty much any shape you have. I'm showing here the inside of 2 boxes made by 2 kids who came to the craft program, who used this method to make a centerpiece using a spider web and a large circle for a moon. The witch riding a broom is a sticker. I love seeing kids come up with creative and innovative ideas to use the craft supplies they have on hand. What ideas do you have for a 3D centerpiece in the middle of an explosion box? I'm thinking about turkeys or a cornucopia shape for Thanksgiving. Or it would be fun to make these miniature explosion boxes as place cards for the guests at your Thanksgiving dinner. And when they take the lid off, the sides fall down, and mixed nuts and some candy falls out. Thanks for joining me here at Luann's Creative Corner. I hope you have a great day and a safe Halloween. Bye.